After Poland shot down Russian drones that entered its airspace in September, several other drone-related incidents across Europe have left EU leaders increasingly anxious.
European Union leaders have been holding talks on defense in Copenhagen following a series of airspace incursions and drone sightings at airports.
Russia has ill intentions towards the whole world. This from Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk as European ministers plan a drone wall along the eastern flank.
When Russian drones crossed into Polish airspace this September, NATO scrambled fighter jets in response. Sidewinder missiles worth over $400,000 were launched to destroy drones costing barely a few $1,000s. In Estonia, similar incursions sent Italian F-35s and Turkish surveillance aircraft rushing to the skies, each flight hour burning through tens of thousands of euros. It was an unsustainable equation. Europe was spending millions to counter threats worth pennies. That imbalance has forced Europe to rethink its defensive strategy. In her State of Union address on September 10th, EU President Ursula von der Leyen unveiled a bold proposal, a drone wall stretching from Finland to Romania. Not a barrier of concrete and wire, but an invisible shield of radars, jammers, and anti-drone weapons, designed to detect and neutralize unmanned threats at a fraction of traditional costs. The so-called drone wall could reshape European defense. But can a wall of drones truly protect Europe from the next generation of aerial warfare? Or will it expose deeper vulnerabilities? Before we uncover the full story and explore what this wall really means for Europe's security, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss our upcoming reports. During the Cold War, Europe's defense network was built to counter manned bombers and nuclear threats. Chains of radar stations and interceptor bases stretched across the continent, creating a deterrent that mirrored the threat, expensive weapons matched with equally costly defenses. That balance worked for decades, but today, Europe faces a different kind of danger. Swarms of cheap, unmanned drones that fly low, slow, and in numbers too great to intercept one by one. The Russian invasion of Ukraine exposed just how disruptive these small aircraft have become. Drones now destroy tanks and artillery worth millions, strike deep behind enemy lines, and overwhelm traditional air forces. For NATO, this reality is alarming. Years of underinvestment in defense have left Europe relying on stealth fighters to chase drones worth a fraction of their cost. It's a strategy that makes little economic sense. The drone wall is intended to change that, stretching roughly 4,000 kilometers from Finland's icy forests to Romania's southern borders. The system would combine radars, electric jammers, and counter-drone weapons into one coordinated shield. Yet, the question of cost remains wide open. Estimates suggest the project could run into tens of billions of euros once research, procurement, and integration are included. Even a simplified first phase, equipping border states with shared drone detection capabilities, will require massive funding. The European Defense Commissioner, Andreas Kubilio, claims initial detection systems could be deployed within a year, but a fully functional network spanning both land and sea would take several years and far more investment. The European Union has said it will finance the effort, but the source of that money is unclear. Will it come from an entirely new defense fund, a redirection of existing budgets, or a mix of national contributions? None of that has been decided. What's certain is that Europe's defense industry stands to gain immensely. Contracts for radars, jammers, lasers, and interceptor drones could amount to billions, benefiting firms in Germany, France, Italy, Sweden, and beyond. In September 2025, Europe's skies turned into a test zone for NATO's readiness. The month began with nearly 24 Shahed-style drones breaching Polish airspace. Some were intercepted, but several slipped through, exposing gaps in detection systems. Just days later, 3 Russian MiG-31s crossed into Estonia, lingering for 12 minutes before Italian F-35s scrambled to meet them. To strengthen surveillance, a Turkish AWACS aircraft was dispatched to coordinate air patrols across the Baltic region. Soon after, Denmark reported a wave of drone incursions near airports and military bases, forcing Copenhagen and Oslo to temporarily close their main airports. Toward the end of the month, Russian aircraft again approached Baltic airspace, prompting another NATO interception. Each of these incidents underscored how frequent and deliberate these violations have become. Moscow doesn't send drones or jets across NATO borders by accident. These intrusions serve a strategic purpose, testing the alliance's political unity and its response time. Each operation allows Russia to gather valuable data: how long NATO takes to react, what assets it deploys, and how coordination unfolds among member states. It's a live intelligence exercise designed to measure NATO's resilience and deterrence. The problem is cost. Each NATO interception drains resources at a rate that's simply unsustainable. When Russian drones costing only a few thousand euros provoke a response involving F-35s and AWACS planes, the financial equation collapses. Every hour of flight costs tens of thousands of euros, while Russia spends only a fraction to cause the disruption. This imbalance has become one of the most pressing issues in Europe's defense planning. Europe's proposed drone wall aims to change that equation. Instead of chasing low-cost drones with multi-million-euro aircraft, the EU envisions a network of radars, sensors, and electronic jammers capable of detecting and neutralizing threats automatically. Spanning roughly 4,000 kilometers from Finland's Arctic frontier to Romania's southern plains, it would form a digital barrier designed to defend Europe's airspace efficiently and affordably. The idea is bold, but the implementation remains uncertain. Europe may finally have found a way to protect its skies, but whether the drone wall can deliver on that promise is a question that still hangs in the air. Europe's proposed drone wall is not a physical barrier of steel or concrete, but an invisible, defensive network built to detect and disable unmanned threats before they can cross borders. The concept envisions a chain of radars, acoustic sensors, and electronic jamming systems stretching more than 4,000 kilometers, from Finland's frozen forest to Romania's Black Sea coast. Together, these systems would form a unified, multi-layered shield against drones and low-flying aircraft. In essence, the wall would operate as an early warning system. Drones entering European airspace would first be detected by radar and acoustic sensors, then tracked and identified using AI-based imaging. Once confirmed as a hostile target, jamming tools or directed energy weapons, such as high-powered lasers, would be activated to disable or destroy them at a fraction of the cost of traditional missiles. Some of these technologies already exist. Ukraine, for instance, has deployed acoustic sensors capable of detecting drones too small or too low to appear on radar. The United States has developed the Blue Halo Locust laser weapon, which can burn through drones using energy beams costing only a few dollars per shot. Europe could adapt and integrate such systems into its defensive grid, making real-time interception both efficient and affordable. Still, the scale of the project presents enormous logistical and political challenges. Integrating dozens of national systems into one coordinated framework requires not just compatible hardware, but shared communication protocols and real-time intelligence sharing. True interoperability would mean member states ceding a measure of control over their airspace, a politically sensitive step for many European governments. European Defense Commissioner Andreas Kubilius has stated that the EU could deploy basic detention capabilities within a year. However, a complete, fully functional system capable of continuous coverage across both land and sea would likely take years and billions in investment. Funding is another uncertainty. Brussels insists the EU will finance the project, but whether that money will come from a new defense fund, existing programs, or national contributions remains undecided. What is certain, though, is that Europe's defense industry stands to gain significantly from the initiative. For better or worse, the drone wall may redefine how Europe secures its borders and how much it's willing to spend to do so. Want more fascinating insights like this? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel. Also, press that bell icon so you never miss out our amazing content.